Today, Oklahoma State has NIL problems. I got your preseason recap for the NFL, and college football is underway today. Welcome to American Game Day. Today is Saturday, August 24th, and it's not just some any ordinary Saturday. Today is the first day of college football back for the 2024 season. I am Braden Slater, your host of this show, and you see it right there. The ACC is getting it kicked off in Ireland with Florida State versus Georgia Tech. It's going to get kicked off in just an hour away from now, because you're watching this show right when it gets uploaded. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good ball game for sure. No matter if it's blown out or not, it's the first game. But before we get to that, the NFL has some preseason games that I want to get out of the way. Yeah, the Lions pull off a big upset. Well, I mean, it's really not much of an upset for preseason, but Patrick Mahomes did play at the end, and the Lions did end up getting the win. Caleb Williams is putting on the show in the preseason for you. The Bears put up a big win over the Bengals, and the Dolphins get a good win over the Commanders, 13-6. Yeah, Tua had a good game, I heard. And then the Rams versus the Chargers. Yeah, not a good look for the former Michigan head coach when you lose the Rams 9-7. And then this game was recorded, I recorded this episode before this game happened, so there's the score of that game. You know, I don't even know what the score is now. But I got your college headlines, and boy, do I got some college headlines for you. Starting with Oklahoma State. Yeah, this is basically, I changed the title of this week's episode mainly for this. Mike Gundy is banning his players from making new NIL deals in seasons. He's like, I'm tired of my players asking for money. No more. You're cut out. I want to just focus on football. I love that statement. I love it. But here's what threw me off. Oklahoma State actually announced early, just a day after that, we're going to put QR codes on the back of players' helmets. And, fans could scan it, and they could send money to the players for NIL deals. Could someone slap me in the head? Oh, we're not going to deal with NIL during the season. Oh, but here you go. Send us money for NIL. Next topic. Florida State and Clemson have been rumored majority of the summer that they could be leaving the ACC to the Big 12. Now, I cannot confirm that. It is just a rumor, so do not take my word for it, and it probably won't happen for a couple years. They're stuck in the ACC for at least 2027. I'll tell you for that. And, Iowa has had some big crazy news just the past couple days that the head coach is suspended for one game for recruitment violation for grabbing their quarterback who has been struggling to play offense all last year because he committed to Iowa before entering the transport portal? Give me a break. What are these headlines today? And then Louisiana Monroe has announced their starting quarterback. It's going to be General Booty, the transfer from Oklahoma. Oklahoma fans have really been cheering for him, mainly because, something has to do with that last name, Booty, I guess. Can you even say that on YouTube? I guess you can now. I just did. If I got copyright, it was worth it. And the SEC announced their tiebreakers for it. There's a tie for who they're going to send to the national champion or their conference championship. And of course, head-to-head would be first off, but all the way down to 6, random draw. Yeah, we're going to draw a name, and you're in our conference championship game. Okay. Well, enough with those headlines. We got some football in action today. 11 o'clock on ESPN. Florida State and Georgia Tech. This is going to be quite an interesting game. Mainly because it's the first game of the season. It's in Ireland. Florida State has had some trouble with the NCAA and the slush committee being left out of the playoff last year. They've had some, well, their starting quarterback last year got a season-ending injury. He's gone now, and now they have a new quarterback. I'll talk about him in just a little bit, but here's their Florida State Bowl game stats. Yeah, take a look at it. Florida State only put up 3 points against Georgia in the bowl game. They lost. Georgia Tech, I don't even remember who they beat, but they won. Put up 30 points. Passing, Georgia Tech really doesn't have a passing game. Florida State does. They got J.J. Ogulaire. I know I'm not going to pronounce his name all year. Correct all year, but we'll just have to wait and find out. But, yeah, he's passing 57%, over 2,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions when he was the starting quarterback from Oregon State. Yeah, he transferred from Oregon State, so he's going to be a star. We'll see. I think he's going to struggle against Georgia Tech and get the momentum since he first year at a new team. But, Hayden Kings, what a name. What a last name. He's passing for 62%, over 2,000 yards as well. He got more yardage. He got 27 touchdowns, but he's got to protect the ball better. He throws 16 interceptions, but those are his stats from last year, his average. But it's going to be a game. I'll talk more about that later on. But there's going to be a game on Friday. Yeah, the next Friday. Yeah, there's going to be some games. That's not the only game we got. But yeah, Friday, 9:30 ESPN. TCU Stanford. Probably not going to be that big of a game. But TCU's on the road against a Stanford team who's... I don't have high hopes about Stanford. But don't sleep on Stanford. They could surprise people as well. And let's do a quick look at some the games for next week. Yeah, got some good ones. Georgia Tech is already in action on Saturday. Yeah, playing against Georgia State. 7 o'clock on the ACC network. And then early on in the day on ESPNU, it's Kent State and Pitt. That's gonna be a blowout for Pitt. Just to throw in an extra game in there. Yeah. But Georgia State and Georgia Tech will be a main one to look after, see how Georgia Tech responds after playing Florida State. Looking at the Big Ten now. North Carolina. Well, I mean, they're still the ACC, but we're changing to the Big Ten since Big Ten will be home in this game. But it'll be on a Thursday night, 7 o'clock on Fox. Minnesota is at home. This is going to be a really good matchup. Or week 0 is really what this is. For week 0, going to be a big game. Pay very close to it because I think the conference is on the line for North Carolina in this one. And then Akron is playing Ohio State. I mean, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, I gotta beat them because they're at the top of the conference. Ohio State definitely blowing out Akron. Not even gonna be close. But Fresno State, prime time on NBC. They're gonna get their national spotlight. I think they're gonna give Michigan a run for their money, especially a team that just won the national championship. They're going through some quarterback head coaching issues right now with recruiting violations and sign stealing. So they got the heads up. Fresno State is not that bad of a team. They can run the table in the Mountain West. So do not sleep on Fresno State there, Michigan. I still think Michigan's gonna win that game, but Fresno State will keep those Michigan fans, those Wolverines, on the edge of their seats. And then at 7 o'clock on ESPN on a Thursday night, this one is going to be a really important one because North Dakota State, they are at the top of the FCS. And they're on the road playing a really hyped up Colorado team. I think upsets happen in college football. Give me North Dakota State to win that game. And some other big Big 12 game. South Dakota State. Yeah, another one. They're at the top of their conference as well. They're at the top of the FCS as well. They have really good potential pulling off Oklahoma State. But I think Oklahoma State will actually pull off this win at home at 1 o'clock next Saturday. And then Penn State and West Virginia. That's going to be a really big one to watch. Don't sleep on West Virginia. they can really show out when they want to, even at home. Some people won't believe me. It is tough to win at West Virginia. Well, not just win, tough to compete there. That crowd is really hard to win in. I got Penn State winning, but I think it'll be closer than what the experts think. But yeah, got Penn State and Oklahoma State winning there. And the SEC, we go. Georgia is hosting their first game against a top 15 team, number 14 Clemson. Georgia, number 1 in the AP poll. I don't think that's going to last very long. It's the Athletic kickoff game next Saturday at 11 o'clock on ABC. Yeah, it's actually ESPN's first, it's ESPN's first SEC game on ABC in their new contract, so we'll see how that goes. And then Miami versus Florida State. That's going to be a really good one. This is really giving me a glimpse of what the mid-level teams are going to be. I'm expecting Miami and Florida State are still kind of at the same level. I'm surprised Miami is ranked this high, but it'll be interesting to see how these two teams go. It gives us an idea of, could they potentially, I'm not expecting them to win their conference, but can they pull up a big upset down the road? Maybe we might have some field storming down the road from either one of these two teams. And Notre Dame and A&M, gonna be a good one. Prime time on ABC. I'm really looking forward to that one. A&M's got their new head coach is from Duke. Did you see Duke play last year? They're looking good. Jimbo Fisher is gone. Bye. Yeah. They're focused on their new head coach now, and I gotta say, that fan base is still crazy. And Notre Dame, I mean, they've got some ups and downs. They've been hyped all since Marcus Freeman was their head coach. Notre Dame's been hyped. I think that hype has settled down a little bit, so I think they're refocusing what Notre Dame truly is. So I think it's gonna be a game. To this at the time of this recording, I don't know who's gonna win that game. I'm sliding with A&M, but I'm going back and forth. And the Pac-2, yeah, I gotta talk about the Pac-2. I gotta throw a little Pac-2 into this, just making fun of them. But Portland State go to get Washington State and Oregon State will be home. And in case you're wondering, their conference games are now going to be the Mountain West. And take a look at the group of 5. Kent State, not Kent State, but I can't even pronounce their name. But their first game in the FBS, yes, will be UTSA. Yeah, not a good start for them. Throwing them a softball, right? They're not getting a softball there. UTSA, do not sleep on them. They are really good. All right, let's look at some NFL headlines. I only got one for you. It is Bo Nick. Was named the starting quarterback for the Broncos. Yeah, that's it. It's the NFL preseason. That's really the only headline I have. But don't worry, once the season starts, these will start rolling in. But let's take a look at what the NFL has for us the preseason. We got the Minnesota versus the Eagles, the Rams versus the Texans, the Chargers versus the Dallas, and the Patriots versus the Commanders. Yeah, in case you need something to watch that's not called, I know no one probably watched the other game, college football on, but hey, that Sunday game, 7 o'clock, NBC, Patriots versus Commanders, that's not going to be that bad of a game. I mean, the starters obviously aren't going to play, and it's the last week of the regular season, so we'll see how that goes. But let's actually take a look at what the AP has in store for us for the playoffs. I talked about this a little bit last week, but let's do a little good breakdown of the playoffs. I'm going to be talking about it a lot throughout the season, just so we can get a good understanding how the playoffs is actually going to work this year. So you can see the second round of it, which would be the the quarterfinals. You can see they got a bye week. Obviously, 1 through 4, those are the Power 4 teams. If you win your conference in the Power 4, you get a bye, and then select committee will rank them 1 through 4. Obviously, the AP has Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2, Florida State is the highest ACC team that AP has at 10, so they will be at 3. And Utah is the highest Big 12 in the AP poll, so they'll be put at 4. And then 5 through 11 is the at-large. And then at 12 will be the group of 5, the highest group of 5. Or if there is a group of 5 inside the ranked in the top 12, they will be seated where they are. So if Boise State somehow climbs the top 10, they'll be seated at 10. But if they're below, if they're at 12 or below, they'll be the 12th seed. But based off this, now obviously this is gonna change throughout the year a lot. But who I want to see, Boise State and Oregon. Oregon definitely gonna be blown out. They'll move on. They'll play Utah. I want to see that. I want to see Oregon and Utah again. Notre Dame and Ole Miss. That'll be a good one. Michigan and Texas. Who wants to see that rematch again? Penn State and Alabama. That is going to be a good one. The SEC versus the Big Ten. That's your playoff. But let's check out what's going around the network here on Fantastic Sports. Wow, that's something I haven't said in a while to switch it off. But yeah, Slate Report podcast will be every other Monday at 6 o'clock. Down in Distance will be every other Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So Down in Distance and Slate Report podcast will switch off each week. And then when basketball season comes back around, it will be on Bio Week on Wednesday at 6. And of course, this flagship show, American Gameday, will be on every Saturday at 10 a.m., getting you ready for a full Saturday of college football. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, stats, etc. That's how it's going around the network here on Fantastic. It's now time for the Offshore! Only got a couple games for you this week. Starting off at 7 o'clock tonight on CBS Sports Network. It's going to be 84 degrees, bright and sunny at kickoff. It's going to be SMU versus Nevada. Now, I know on a regular week, this probably won't even be featured, but we're into college football now. We need something to watch. I got SMU in this one, their first game inside the ACC. First game underway, Florida State versus Georgia Tech. We're going to do a quick video game sim and a quick prediction of what the game is going to be like. We're going to predict that Georgia Tech kicks the ball first and Florida State gets the ball. It is looked to be a good run, and no, he is stopped. Oh, inside the own 20. Gonna be a tough stop. Florida State, let's see what they get the ball. Oh, good run. He breaks free. He's inside the 50 on the first drive, but they end up punting the ball away. Georgia Tech on with the ball now, getting a good run to start the game. Let's go. Next play. They're looking to score fast. Getting the ball movement. He's inside the red zone. Inside the 5. Here comes Georgia Tech. They're looking to score first. Making a move. Touchdown. Georgia Tech has the lead and first points for the first year. Can Florida State answer? No. Intercepted by Georgia Tech. And they're going to get great field position in the red zone. Alright, but it only leads to a field goal, but what a great start for Georgia Tech. For Florida State, can they answer? Well, they just got a good play now. Now they're in Georgia Tech's field onside the ball. Good yardage, but they end up having to punt. Georgia Tech ends up punting as well, and then we have this weird glitch by Florida State. They really got about 5 yards, 6 or 5 yards on the play, but anyway, weird glitch I saw. Anyway, Florida State trying to make something happen here. They're inside the red zone. Look at the throw, going deep inside the 5 now. It is caught. What are they going to do on first and goal? And he's in. Touchdown. Florida State finally gets their first points on the board. Georgia Tech ends up kicking a punt. And Florida State ends up scoring right back, going down the yard. But can Georgia Tech answer now that they're trailing for the first time in this game? Well, they do just that. And nope. They throw an interception. Yep. Poor Georgia Tech goes all the way down the field looking to take the lead, and they just throw an interception. But, hey, Florida State ends up punting, and Georgia Tech gets the ball back, gets a good field position yardage now. Georgia Tech looking to score now. They're looking to reclaim their lead, moving the ball very well. They got a 2nd and goal, and he's pushing, he's in. Touchdown. Georgia Tech now retakes the lead. Wow. And now we're in the 4th quarter now. Georgia Tech looking, going deep. It is tipped. It is caught. Touchdown. Georgia Tech now has a huge lead of Florida State, putting in the bid. What an unexpected upset going on here. Look at that tip off the Florida State player. Wow. Georgia Tech decides to go for 2 to prevent Florida State potentially having the game-winning touchdown. They end up getting it, and who says this video game isn't like real life? But anyway, Florida State goes down the field, 2-minute drill, boom, touchdown, one-possession game. What's Georgia Tech's got on their sleeve? Well, they throw an interception. Not just an interception, a pick 6. We got a tie ball game, and it is, I think, just 3 minutes left in the game. And it was right to the linebacker. Who is he throwing that to? Wow, first game of the season off to quite a good ball game if this is what it is. But here we go. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left. Tie ball game. What is Georgia Tech having them? Oh, nice pass right around the 50. All right, 1st and 10. What they got here? Gonna run the ball. QB run. All right. Ooh, good field position. All right. Setting else for some good field goal. Oh, but they ended up having to punt. They decided to punt the ball and give Florida State with the minute left. All 3 timeouts. They're moving the ball really well. They can actually just run the ball with how well they're running the ball. And they got all their timeouts as well. They're calling a couple as they're running the ball. Getting inside the 5. Now, here we go. A 23-yard field goal. It is up. It is good. And they win the ball game on a field goal. So, if this is how the first college football game is going to go down, I'm excited for it. Yep, Florida State ends up winning 34-31 according to EA Sports. And now our game of the week, number 10 Florida State versus Georgia Tech. You just saw what EA Sports predicted in their video game. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that every week now for the game of the week, and I'll do some other bigger games, and I'll probably just do the score unless something crazy happens. But yeah, EA Sports has Florida State winning in a close one. Now, to me, I actually think that might be spot on for the first half. I think Georgia Tech will show up, and I think we might see a second half comeback by second quarter comeback by Florida State. Florida State, I got them winning big in the second half. All right, thank you all for watching this great episode of American Game. I'll see you next week for the full week 1.